make something more interesting in the game. I can't wait for it to come out, just for the simple fact that Ghost is getting a little boring to me now. I'm veering off on doing good content and rather just putting out these type of videos where I just talk, or where I'm not getting good gameplay, rather I'm just getting, you know, deaths, and focusing more on commentary than I am on actual gameplay. Once the new Call of Duty comes out, the first month of that is new. It's, yeah, it might be the same, like I was talking about with all the other Call of Duties, it might fall into the same category, it might feel the same, but the game itself is new. There's new guns, there's new class setups, there's new combinations to use. So in that aspect, the first month is always something new for Call of Duty. And I enjoy the first month of every Call of Duty that releases. That's my favorite time with Call of Duty, is the first month it releases. I'm playing with every single type of class setup. I'm playing with every gun to see how they fire, all the attachments on the guns. I'm playing with the perks, I'm constantly switching my classes to find the one perfect setup. And in that aspect, the first month is new to me, and it does feel a little bit different. But after that first month, it just falls into the same feel of the other Call of Duties. Whereas with Sledgehammer releasing the trailer with their exoskeletons, they could potentially do something completely different with this game and put out a good difference to their multiplayer experience. And I want to see what they do with it, if it's just going to be a campaign and it's going to be like cosmetic for multiplayer. But I think with like the different helmets that drop down over their face, and the different, because they had different optics on the helmets, like one had a complete shielded mask, the other ones had the little circles all over the place. That, I mean, each one, that in itself could mean more customization to visual preference. You know, you could probably turn off like a different visual type, like you could on the Splinter Cell games and such, where you just press a button like over on the D-pad and it changes your vision, like to night vision or to thermal or something like that. Where that in itself could mean a whole different aspect to Call of Duty. Instead of putting a scope on that can see thermal, or putting a scope on that could see night vision. Now you're giving everybody the option to put it on their character themselves, rather than having to take up an attachment on the gun to do it. That in itself could mean a whole different gameplay experience for me, and I would thoroughly enjoy if they do something like that, where they put more customization into the characters themselves, and it means different gameplay aspects within multiplayer. With the exoskeleton suits, maybe instead of like the kill streaks, where you can do like support, assault, and whatever, instead of that, maybe they can make it to where you can upgrade your exoskeleton suit and do different tasks better than other players, like jumping or running or sliding or whatever it is that they're going to put in the game, diving, whatever. Maybe they can put something to where you can customize your exoskeleton suit to do those tasks better, to do those tasks faster than somebody else. I think that would be a decent route to go with the exoskeleton suit in a multiplayer game. Same with the masks with the optics. That would be decent. Instead of using an attachment for your gun, you can turn it off and on, and no matter what scope you're looking down, you can have it in night vision, you can have it in thermal. But otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to take up an attachment for a thermal scope. Or I don't think they've ever had like a night vision scope, but They might have, and I'm just overlooking that scope in general, but you'd have to take up a whole new attachment on that gun, which in turn you could be using for like a some type of foregrip or mounted shotgun on an assault rifle, or a noob tube, or an extended magazine, or you know, something that you could be using to make the gun more efficient in itself, rather than taking up for a vision type scope, as in like thermal. You know, maybe I'm just thinking too much into the optics of Advanced Warfare and what they could be doing with it, but if they did do that and they released that as a part of your character rather than an attachment to a gun, we could be looking at having multiple attachments on the gun, as well as having your optics different than somebody else. You could be looking at a whole different type of gameplay at that point. I think it would be an interesting spin on the Call of Duty series, and I don't expect Sledgehammer to go way over the top with this game, or go out of a comfort zone of Call of Duty, considering it's their first game they took the lead on, and they've only helped with, I think Modern Warfare 3 was the only one they helped with, so they don't have the backbone that Treyarch and all them already have, because they've been in the Call of Duty lineup for so long, that if they really wanted to go off on their own and do another shooter game that rivals Call of Duty, they could. Whereas Sledgehammer, they wouldn't have the backbone yet. They haven't had the experience that Treyarch and, you know, everybody else has with Call of Duty so far. So maybe I'm expecting too much, or I'm thinking over the top with Sledgehammer's game release, whereas I should be looking at Treyarch's and thinking something like this could actually potentially be what they do. If Sledgehammer does go off and do something like this to change the entire gameplay aspect of multiplayer, I think that it would be a successful spin on Call of Duty. It's not too over the top. They're not putting out, you know, too much of a risk with this. Whereas, you know, you could not put those optics on. You know, you don't have to have them. But if they made it like mandatory or something, then yeah, maybe that's a little over the top and it would ruin it. But for the most part, I think Sledgehammer is going to do a pretty decent job with this game, and I'm hoping that they make it more interesting than the previous few years of Call of Duty, where it's all fallen into this routine, where they're not breaking this routine. You know, yeah, it might be a different feel because you have more futuristic guns or kill streaks, or now with the release of the Ripper, where you can switch from assault rifle to submachine gun, that in itself made that gun more worth using than any other gun in this game to me. I enjoy the Ripper. It's not only in the submachine gun mode, where it's fast and still decently accurate. You can use it at long distances if you really want to, but then you can switch to the assault rifle, where it slows down the rate of fire, but it's accurate and it's still just as powerful. And I think they did a really good job at designing that gun, and I look forward to more guns similar to this. Maybe not this exact setup, but more guns to where it gives you multiple gameplay aspects in one class, where you don't have to use an overkill perk where you're using two primary weapons, so you have an assault rifle and an SMG. Rather, you're just using your original weapon, and it can switch between both. I feel that was a great aspect, and I wish they would do more guns similar to that. Maybe a sniper rifle with that similar aspect. I don't know how they would do it or what they would do with it, but I enjoy the idea of them putting out more guns that can switch between two different game styles, rather than taking up two different slots to put two different weapons to cover those game styles. Instead, you're using one weapon for both. That's really all I really wanted to get through with the Advanced Warfare coming out. We might put out a dual commentary with me and somebody else on our channel to cover more aspects of it, but I'm gonna try one more game here just to see if maybe it was just that lobby that I had bad luck with, and I'm gonna maybe do commentary through that. I forgot to mute everybody, and I really don't feel like doing it right now, so I'm gonna go in and talk to my teammates if they have mics. If not, I'll still do the commentary, and I don't care who's listening on our team and doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. No, I get everybody without mics. Oh. I'm still on the team without mics. This isn't fair. Oh well. Alright.
Team deathmatch.
Anybody have a mic? Take that as a no.
Training is over, sweetheart. Time for battle.
Oh, nobody else went up there this time. Yep, figured that was gonna happen when I jumped over there.
They're taking.
Alright, it's all good. And somebody's already camping over there.
Shooter, open concourse. Copy, I'm on it.
Damn it. I was really hoping some of my team would be at least decent so they can help me out and... Alright. Pretty sure I got that, but okay. I don't really like the map too much in general, but again, another bad day of Call of Duty for me. I wasn't doing bad yesterday. I wish I would have broadcasted then instead of today. Do what? Hello? No, I heard somebody talking.
Enemy SATCOM active.
Ooh. I'm really getting tired of that.